Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Insomnia. Myself, Momo, and the lovely Christopher Trout here on the casting
You sound
desk.
glorious in this headset, by the way. It's a new headset to fix the broken one.
Fantastic. It looks like, looks like the combat axe has been denied by Seb. Yeah, I think we're just having notification that it will be restarted. However, Chris, you just cast over, which was a phenomenal game. Infused versus Millenium, 3-2, last map, 5-5. Couldn't be any closer. Tell me your thoughts.
It was a really... A lot of the games were kind of settled by the pick and bans, I think. We were just speaking with Marky B a minute ago, and he even said that I need to get better with some more guns. He needs to be a bit more versatile. He said when they banned out the M8, he really struggled, but when he has got the M8 in his arsenal, he's extremely dominant, and I think that was evident, and I pointed it out by the fact that in the first map, he went about 20 and 40 from the hardpoint without having the M8 out, and they said even themselves they usually ban it out, and I expected them to ban it out, you know, against Mad Cat and Swanee. It's not really something that you want to really come up against, but then obviously after the search and destroy, which they managed to pull the victory out of, they went to the uplink, and the M8 was obviously not banned, and instead they started banning out all the tactical grenades. He obviously had a certain game plan they wanted, and the M8 was still available for it, and we obviously saw that Trey, who also I would say maybe didn't have one of his best series, at least at the start in the hard point, he also struggled a little bit when the M8 wasn't available, but as soon as the M8 was available, every single one of them seemed to pull it out on the uplink, and they all had really, really solid games, especially Marky B.
The game.
He was completely putting some one bombs down onto people, and it really opened up. Basically, every gunfight went in his way, and he was completely clearing up one side of the map, which allowed them to push forward, and it really gave them such more breathing room to actually make something happen for themselves, and that was kind of how I'd say a large majority of the series went. It was very much about who got the better pick and ban phase, and that's what we haven't so much seen so far in the stream this weekend. I know we've only had so many pro teams who are really showing people how to use the ban and protect system properly and utilizing it to its full potential, but that game was really, really interesting. Some of the ban and protects were quite unordinary. Unordinary, and it really made the series interesting, and you've got to give massive respect to Dave Marsh going 0-11 for the win.
I mean, I was actually sat behind, I was sat between and behind Marky and Zero, alongside Dinch, who was obviously coaching the squad, and it was really, really strange because I'm only going to touch on the S&D, and I know as a caster it's something that you're going to obviously highlight as 0-11. I know you guys were watching him, but I thought he was 0-7 at the time, and I said, I'm going to watch him, I'm going to see what he can do. And I actually said to him, come on, Dave, keep your head in the game. You know, you need a bit of, team spirit, whatever. And every single thing went wrong for him. He put 2 bursts in Tommy, he glitched away. His pistol, he put about 4 bullets in it, didn't kill him. On that last round, he slid in, put a burst into someone, put him blank, and he just ran away, and I was like, this guy's just not had a great series. But how he's in the grand final after an 0-11, it's beyond me. However, quickly running through the very, very standard ban and protect here. All very standard, except I would say XR2 being taken out. Tommy's chosen to do that, and Stifler taken out of stock. And HVK looks like it's going to be an SMG-dominated game here. Obviously, that Vesper as well.
So I don't want to kind of put a down note on this kind of pick and ban phase for Tricked here, but obviously being a team that have had a couple of really good series against the likes of Aerox, Bulldog, probably teams more in their kind of skill gap compared to Millenium. You're coming up against one of the best teams, not only in the tournament, but in Europe right now, and the pick and ban phase has been almost identical the same way through the entire tournament when it comes to some of these bigger teams. We basically see a lot of ARs being taken out, and we actually saw when Millenium actually played earlier that, Mad Cat will use that KM45. He's got no problem. We actually saw him use it against Infused in the first map. He was using the KM45. So he's got no problem losing out on some of those more preferred AR guns. It's the only difference here is the fact that stock has been banned. So whether that will play as much of a factor into that pick and ban, it could make a world of difference and give them some sort of a fighting chance. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I still don't think they've kind of gone away and looked at their ban and protect phases, and we saw how much of a difference the ban and protect phase can actually make in that last winners bracket game. So I really would have liked to seen Trick try something different. This is your last chance in the tournament to kind of, you know, make a name for yourselves, really give yourselves a good run at it. This is probably one of the, you would have to argue for a team like Trick, not, I don't want to like put any negative tones on Trick. They've done really well this weekend. They've had some great series and deserve to be where they are, but they're not one of the best teams I've seen, and this is probably one of the few opportunities they're going to get to play against one of the best teams in Europe. So why don't you try something a little bit different and really give yourself the best chance, you know, experiment a little bit and see how you're going to fare up. I don't know how you feel about that at the moment. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh.
I think for them, they're obviously doing stuff and banning stuff which is working against certain teams. So they're thinking, why don't we do the same against Millenium? Why don't we do the same against Infuse, etc., etc.? But I mean, these guys aren't the most experienced. But it's very easy. I mean, you know, how much do they change it? You know, say they just go, yeah, let's ban Flat Jacket, let's ban, I don't know, Tap Mass, let's ban this, random things like that. Their team still suffers. And I think for them, they're thinking, I'm going to use what I like, I'm going to forget the names I'm playing, and I'm just going to play my own. I think that's what they're going for, but I do agree. For me, they've got to pull out something special or do something crazy to win. Let's just quickly go through the specialists that they've got there while they edit the score streak. So, for Millenium, Hardpoint, very, very standard. Your Scythe, War Machine, Annihilator, Purifier, all weapon attachments. On Tricked, we have Tempest, Annihilator, Purifier, and Scythe. So only a little difference there. But, Hardpoint, we saw Tricked pretty much dominate everyone else on Hardpoint, except Infuse, who kind of ran them riot, and I expect Millenium to do the same. That's my prediction. I'm going to go for a 250 to 50.
Well, we did see Millenium win 250 to 33 on this map earlier today, so we'll have to see if these guys can better that and not have to suffer such an amazing defeat. And you're going for 250 to 50. I think, with the fact that Stock's being banned out, I'm going to have to go, I think, I actually don't want to even say a score. I think it's disrespectful at this point, but let's hope for the best. I'm going to be team Tricked for this game. I want them.
Okay.
I really want to give them some love and some support and see if they can actually pull things together.
Okay, so watching that last game, for me, I saw Tommy. Let's jump on board with Tommy. Let's see exactly what he can do. He's using this little tab out. Obviously, the Annihilator we saw right in the back. Obviously, with all the assault rifles that have been banned now, this is where you will see different guns come into play. So he's using long barrel, laser, and quick draw here on the Razorback. Just get someone who's a bit close to the action, and no man ever further away from the hard point is just using the Pharaoh. Yep,
absolutely. He's pushed towards the bottom shelf, and he's actually got complete control of this hill as well. Jerd just doing what Jerd wants so far, and they are racking up this time. I think they had the strongest spawns off the start as well, so they look like they've given that up as well to the side of Trick. No, in fact, they still have control of it. Seb with a great kill onto Swanee there to get things started for that team. Madcat's coming back with this Man of War. See what can happen. Seb having a great little start there. Gets 4 kills very quickly to kick things off. And here comes Stifler. Obviously, these guys have played so many games today, and they're very much warmed up and ready to go. Obviously, Millenium, likewise, just coming off the back of the winners bracket loss. They'll be very much ready to go. And this is a good little start from Tricked. I have to say, I'm happy with the way they kick things off. Moving into this next hard point, I want to see them try and get control of it. Here comes Stifler by himself, pushing out towards the stairs, and he does get that kill as well. Goes for the second and manages to pick that one up as well. I'm not sure if rapid fire was banned because that VMP looks like it's shooting very, very quickly and absolutely melting people. So this is really good from Trick. And they're actually taking the lead here to start things off. This VMP for Stifler is going mental right now. 5 kill streak comes to an end, and this is a very promising start from them.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I said, you know, 250-50, not looking very good for my predictions, but it's great to see Trick come out a little bit stronger and also put a few kills on the board as well. I mean, yes, Swanee's rocking 8 and 4, but Stifler also 8 kills to his name this early stage. I'm going to just jump on board with Stifler once again. He was using this VMP to such great ability. Now looking at that minimap. I don't know if you can. 1 second. Ignore me for a sec. You just carry on what you're doing. No, he hasn't got rapid fire on it. So no, rapid fire was banned.
Yeah, it was banned. So it was absolutely melting people there for a second. So fair play to him. He did some good stuff. And now this hasn't really gotten away from them yet. So So if they get a good pinch off, it can really make something happen. They're still keeping up with kills right now. It hasn't really escalated away into Millennium's favor. So if they group together, start thinking more as a unit, they can really pull this back. Madcat using that KN-44 once again. Kappa answers back onto Madcat. Tommy just racking up the time here, watching the middle of the map. They're obviously going to be spawning in Laboratory and pushing down there. Seb answers with a kill. Madcat answers onto Jambino. Stifler getting in the action onto Jerd as well. And this is looking like a tightly contested hill so far.
Yeah, it kind of going back in two, and you know, only on each hard point, probably 5 or 10 points going in favour of Millenium, really. But you know, Trick staying in it. We're a long way from the end of the match, so we'll stick on board with a few of these guys. Stifler again, another double kill there. Stifler's going off right now. It's double nades, comes in, breaks the hills, single-handedly with this VMP. Honestly, I do not know what he's doing that's different to everyone else, but it is melting Millenium right now, and they're struggling a little bit, but their rotation comes in. 25-point game, looking like Millenium, you know, doing what they do best. But, you know, Madcat, we saw him dominating with 44 kills previously, now struggling nearly double negative.
I have to say, I think you owe Trick an apology. They've already beaten your expected target of 50 points, Momo, but they are really doing well now, and they could potentially take the lead if they keep control of this as they are. And Stifler, as you said, he's doing an amazing job and not really losing out on the slaying battles, and I think that's really come down. One thing they might have learned from their previous mistakes is you take out the stock, you really do hinder some of the AR players. Although it looks like they are starting to learn how to get away with that, it has also come back to hurt Millenium, and I think this is one of those maps where stock is a really vital attachment because there are so many different corners and objects in your way. You need to be able to maneuver in and out of the actual terrain itself.
Yeah, Tommy and Swanee set up for this new hard point. However, Seb's just got a huge kill round the back. He's going to pick up another, and then he just broke this hard point with ease. You know, these guys are
lovely kill, gets the second.
Oh, Seb, he's going off. And I've got to say, they're making it look easy.
Oh.
It's 103 to 76 right now in favour of Tricks. I'm not saying that wrong. The scores aren't incorrect. That is what it is right now. And you're right, Chris. You know, I do owe these guys an apology. They brought it here to the loser bracket final. Millenium, just coming off a tough loss as well. You know, they must be feeling it too.
Yeah, something gives me the impression that Trick have definitely gone away. They've kind of looked at what they want to do, but Madcat using the Purifier does manage to get, like 4 or 5 kills there off the break just to give themselves a bit more control, getting that scrap time going into the second rotations. They'll be coming up on the middle hard point once again. They still do have control of those spawns, but I think that maybe... I haven't actually had a quick check, but I think Trick might be running 3 SMGs here, which is definitely working out in their favor. Obviously, we know Tommy and Jerd are very good with submachine guns, but then you've got Madcat and Swanee, who really like to use the ARs, and I think that could be why Trick are starting to keep themselves very much in this fight, is because they've got 3 SMGs. They're obviously not hindered by the fact that they don't... The SMGs move a lot quicker when you're ADS, so... With Stop being banned out against the ARs, they're having a bit of a tough time, and the SMGs are just really raining down on these guys right now.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, they are running 3 SMGs. I think Millenium might be doing the same. Definitely hinders the assault rifles in the way that it may have been used to be played. Jerd and Swanee picking up a couple of kills. Obviously, Swanee will be staying to the assault rifle. That is what he knows and loves. But Jerd on your screen still going strong. Now back in the lead. Millenium lead by roughly around 20 points. Now extending that even further, as the rotation's got to come in. 5 seconds left. I would like to see a team maybe just set up this next one, go for those back spawns a little bit more. Jerd getting that lightning strike.
And I think the best part about this whole map so far, even as it stands right now, is that Trick are going to be like, hold on, we've hit something here. We've almost hit exactly what we want from it, and that's to find a weakness in Millenium's plan. And I said all along, especially the first day yesterday to Rel, is that what is Millenium's strength? It's gun skill. It's the ability to outslay your opponent. And if you start to mess up their game where you can actually affect how they're slaying against people, it will throw them under the bus and it will really hurt them. And they'll start to find that they aren't as invincible as they sometimes seem. And by taking away that stock attachment, it looks like you have taken 2 people almost, not out of the game, but you've certainly hindered their playstyle. And that's actually something that's going to come back towards Trick moving forward in this series. So you might actually find that Millenium start to protect that stock in future.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Mad Cat and Swanee using the ARs. They're using Minor Wards, not having the best of series. You know, Swanee, we saw him drop 48 kills for, I think, 48 to 28 against Infused when he has all the guns that he wants. Now, obviously hindered with, you know, without his stock, with other things taken away from him. You know, he's just barely going positive. Mad Cat, exactly the same, 23-22, pretty much, you know, just about kind of going positive again. Yes, they are still winning. You've got to see some Millennium. A lot of things have been taken, but Swanee hidden up here, double kill for him as the rotations are. It's kind of set still here. You can see him getting these and anchoring these back spawns, ready for that next rock rotation, but 25 seconds left on this hill, still a lot to go.
Absolutely, doing a really good job. He actually has to use his brain a little bit more than actually just going for raw slaying power at this point. He's got to make sure he gets the drop on them. Obviously, he can't strafe around corners with that AR as he might want to do. He has to think a little bit more tactically about how he's approaching it and make sure he can get those gunfights in his favor. I'm surprised I'm not seeing a couple of Pharaohs from the likes of Mad Cat, maybe Swanee. I mean, it is that burst fire SMG, good at long range for an SMG gun as well. Does provide them with that strafing ability, so could be something they should look to get comfortable with in the future, because obviously we're in the initial stages of Black Ops 3. It could be a time for them to start to think it's time to have a look at what happens if everything I want to use is taken away from me.
Yep, and you've got to be versatile. You've got to be able to use every single gun, and that's why Black Ops 3 is a phenomenal game. You know, whether it's a burst SMG, a burst AR, you know, a standard automatic, pistols, anything, you need to be able to be versatile. And I think that's what separates, you know, the great players from the good ones. But, you know, everyone here, you know, on your screen, these 8 players all in the top 3 now, loser bracket final, but looking very dominant there from Millenium. You know, this was even at about 120 apiece. You see Millenium just kind of, you know, kind of grinding it out almost, just taking every single point. And rotation's going to come in here. We are going to see Trick have this, but
this is quite smart from Jambino right here. Just like pre-aiming around doors with the car just to see if he can get a kill. He actually, unfortunately, gets a team. Here comes Seb on the flank, tries to get one, doesn't get it. It sponges some shots, does get one kill in the end. The spawn comes in, he runs straight past him. Jerd cleans him up, and they'll finish that game 250 to 139. But that was very close for a long period of time. There was only a good 20 points into it, and then Swanee found his groove with that scythe and really started separating the two teams.
Yeah, that scythe was a big play as well. We saw those rock hard points, and it really took its town with them, and, you know, kind of gave them a bit of a masterclass in exactly what to do. But map number 1 goes in favour of Millenium, no surprise there. But gotta say, Trick for me did a lot better than I would have expected. You know, I said 50 points.
Indeed.
You know, they got more than double that, even nearly triple.
Yeah,
However,
I'm glad I didn't give a prediction because it was lower than the points they got. And I have to say, I apologise, Trick, because you definitely came in that game. And props to you. Really did a good job.
Okay, guys, so that's map number 1 of the loser bracket final here at Millenium versus Trick. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Search and Destroy.